Good day, everyone. Our next topic is on ethics and ownership. Our key discussions for today, we are going to discuss the need and purpose of ethics as a computer science professional, the need to act ethically, and of course, what is the impact of acting ethically and unethically in a given situation. We're gonna look into the copyright legislation also, and we also going to focus on the types of software licensing that includes the free software, open software, shareware, and commercial software. Also, the most famous nowadays, we have the artificial intelligence. What is the impact on social, economic, and with regards to some environmental issues? But at this point in time, I'm going to discuss here the introduction of basic concepts about ethics, and most especially with our computer ethics. Under this ethics discussion, let's take a look at these four important keywords. Okay, we have here we call legal, that covers the law, whether or not an action is punishable by law. We also look into what is morality. It's a concern questions whether it's right or wrong, and it is often thought of in relation to personal or individual choices. But our main focus is on ethics, which concerns of the right and wrong. But in our own context, we are going to talk about in the computer science or the IT professional context. And of course, we need to look into what is this culture that refers to the attitudes, values, and practices shared by a society or group of people. Now, let's move into a more specific one. We are talking about computer ethics. Okay? These are considered a set of principles, set out to regulate the use of computers. When we talk about the use of computers, this already embedded already or integral to the use of computers, the use of different softwares that is actually going to be stored in the computer system. Now, why do we need this computer ethics? Okay, we need to look into the three factors or three key issues why there should be a computer ethics. Okay, sometimes I call it netiquette. Okay, the proper way to use the internet, or it is your proper behavior, okay, in using these computer systems, hardware and softwares, but most especially on the softwares. Yeah, we look into the intellectual property rights. Okay, example, copying of software without permission of the owner. We're gonna look also into some privacy issues. Okay, hacking. We just did the discussion about here about data security and data integrity. Hacking or illegal access to another person's personal data. And what would be the effect or impact, okay? The effect or of computers on society. What is the impact, okay? Job losses, social impacts, and so on. There is one good, a very good keyword here, plagiarism, okay? This is actually when a person takes another person's idea or work and claim it as their own. So that is what we call plagiarism. As part of being a professional, so we need also to look into some organizations, or we call it professional ethical bodies, that governs or set these regulations or these different computer ethics, computer laws, or provisions, or different what do you call this one sections with regards to the conduct of an IT professional or a computing professional. Professional bodies representing individuals working in the fields of computing and information technology that have developed their own conduct or codes of conduct to which members are expected to adhere. So if you belong to this prestigious information and communication technical computer science bodies, well, you need to adhere to their standard. In the Philippines, I'm actually a member of what we call our organization. We call it the ICPEP. Okay, Institute of Computer Engineers of the Philippines. So I'm a member of this body, and it is also considered as a professional. So you need to affiliate yourself to your own existing organization. So we have our own um, organization for computer engineers in the Philippines, and I'm one of them. And of course, yeah, I was also certified as a PECPE, considered as a professional computer engineer. Okay, um, in worldwide, of course, worldwide. Okay, this is renowned, and they are known for this. We have what we call the BCS. These are considered as professional bodies. The BCS, or the British Computer Society. We also have what we call the ACM, Association of Computer Machinery, and the most famous, the IEEE. I usually call it IEEE. So IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. So this is also considered as an ethical body, or an organization. The British Computer Society is a professional body set up in UK. So it represents the rights and ethical practices of all professionals working in the IT or computing industries. Of course, these different ethical bodies have their own different practices, and they have their own code of conduct, or they have their own, just like a Bible, okay, their own Bible or code of conduct in the conduct of the different practices, ethical practices of a IT professional or computing professional. Some of which are the areas of concern. We have the public interest, the professional competence and integrity, duty to relevant authority, and duty to profession. In contrast with the ACM and IEEE, I think they are actually they are both based in US of A, okay, and have global perspective and influence. Of course, the IEEE is very famous, especially in the Philippines. The codes and conducts, and even the different electronics and electrical engineering codes are being followed in the Philippines also. Well, across the globe. They also follow the 8 guiding principles with respect to the ethical standards. Okay, the 8 principles here. Okay, if I'm going to discuss one by one, we have here of course, with the general public. So this is now with respect to the IT or computing professional. The public, okay, software engineers shall act consistently with the public interest. They also have here all about the client and the employer. Software engineers shall act in a manner that it is the best interest of their client and employer. And you might notice there is a subclasses, something like that here. Contains 8 subclasses, meaning they have different articles or sections. Okay, and of course, yeah, I'm not going to discuss that on those different articles under each section or under each principles here. And then we also have your conduct or product. Software engineers shall ensure that their products products and related notifications meets the highest professional standard possible. Also, judgment. Software engineers shall maintain integrity and independence in their professional judgment. Also, management. Okay, software engineering managers and leaders shall subscribe to and promote an ethical approach to management of software development. Profession. Software engineers shall advance the integrity and reputation of the profession, consistent with the public interest. And then, of course, we need to consider our colleagues. Software engineers shall be fair to and supportive of their colleagues. And of course, number 1, as a professional, or as yourself, okay, as software engineer or an IT professional or computing professional, should participate in a lifelong regarding the practice of the profession, shall promote ethical approach to the practice of the profession. Now, what is the ethical implication? So there is an example here. I want you to go over later on with the PowerPoint. So to give you an idea, there is a one software engineer here who has who is working in a company developing softwares and so on and so forth. But on the second hand, okay, in the evenings after his work from the company that he is actually working, because he has its own company to develop also softwares, and then there are some issues that he is using the software available in the company to for him to develop his own software for his own company, personal company. He even hire software engineers in other countries to develop the softwares that he is doing. So and paying it in a low cost. Okay, so ethical implications here, of course, yeah, you cannot serve two masters at the same time. For example, only is an ethical issue. I mean, you're not going to use the resources also from the company that you're using for personal use. Okay, so I want you to go on this, and there is an ethical issue here is that there is an ethical issue that software written by personnel from other countries may not meet the specific requirements of or appropriate tests. It could lead to any three factors violated. So software may contain spyware or in which the person might be unaware. The other thing is not not knowingly use software that is obtained or retained it either illegally or unethically. So probably the programming software that was used was coming from the main company, or the overseas team is also using another software that is not registered. So it could cause some legal issues to Mikhail or to the person who hired them. Okay, so we just continue this one and the different ethical implications. So as I mentioned, they have subclasses. So the violations of the given example a while ago is that it is being looked into the different subclasses. All right, until then, and then of course I want to go far in the impact on the public. These our ethical norms or code of conducts that we are using, especially in the field of information technology or computer science. The potential impact of any software or hardware being developed on the public. Okay, there's a lot. We need to look into the health and safety concern, the public interest, concerns of the public, benefits to the public. So software engineers and scientists should always consider the software engineering code of ethics whenever you're going to develop a software. Okay, if that would benefit for the public or not, or if the impact on the general public, the impact of the software that is being developed should not be what you call it, should not be ignored, because the software, okay, will eventually being used by the public. So one example here, okay, so I'll just give you a rough discussion on this, okay, because of the some violations that was met with some software issues. Okay, so you take a look at this. In the year 2007, LA airport was shut down. Okay, what is the main reason? So let's take a look at this one. Airplane at LA airport in US were grounded due to simple software issue. A faulty network card in a device continued to send incorrect data over airport's network. So this is very detrimental to human lives. So a simple mistake in the creation of the software could lead to what goes on, the destruction of the human life. And of course, it would cause a lot of disturbances. The other thing is that exploding laptop computers in 2008. There is a trade show. It's a Dell laptop. Computers burst into flames under full view of the visiting public and television cameras. So whenever we develop the software or develop a new product, okay, the general public should always be the one that we need to consider, as they are considered as the consumers or the clients, or eventually they are the ones going to use the softwares and the products. Okay, the public good, I mean, we need to look the general public good. Whatever we develop, softwares or hardware, it should have a very good impact to the general public. All right. And so that ends my discussion about basic ethics or computer ethics. Thank you very much.